So we're back. We have a 15-mark question. Now this comes from the Eduqas Route B RE GCSE, but similar questions appear on different exam specifications. And this is a D evaluate question. So the whole question says, evaluate the statement, there is no need to pray for the dead. It's a 15-mark question on the Eduqas paper, and you are asked in your answer to show you have considered more than one point of view. We're going to show you one way you could consider answering it today and some of the words we would suggest you include in your answers. 15 marks, we would say about 15 minutes if you can. Let's see what we can do. So we always suggest the first thing that you would do is show what Catholics would say to the statement. This one, there is no need to pray for the dead, while Catholics would disagree with the statement. So let's get straight in with that Catholic viewpoint. Catholics would disagree with the statement. Why is that? Well, it's because Catholics believe, now there's a few reasons we can use, we're going to save some back for later. Catholics believe that praying for the dead is an important act of love, respect and support. The Catholic Church teaches, let's get some evidence into our paragraph. The Catholic Church teaches prayers can benefit the souls of the deceased. So you pray for the soul. Prayers can benefit the souls of the deceased and unite the living and the dead as one church before God. What does that mean today? Well, let's talk about where we see this. This is shown through offering masses. So you can offer masses in memory of those who have departed, offering masses for the dead. Shown through the prayer of the faithful. And through special times such as All Souls Day. Such as All Souls Day in November. When Catholics pray for those who have died but might still be in purgatory. I'm going to talk more about purgatory in a little while. Catholics also use prayers such as the eternal rest, If you know them, put them in. You don't have to write the whole prayer out, but state the name of the prayer, such as the eternal rest, which asks God to grant peace and rest on the souls of the departed. Now, at this point, something that is probably a good habit to get into is explaining why this could be seen as a strong argument. It doesn't mean you're agreeing with it, but you're explaining why it's a valid point. This is a strong argument because it shows prayer is not meaningless. This prayer has a purpose. For Catholics, it's to move the souls from purgatory to heaven. Prayer is not meaningless, but has a spiritual purpose and reflects the Christian value of love for others. So our first paragraph there talks about moving souls to heaven using special prayers and special days such as All Souls Day and prayers such as the Eternal Rest. We've stated that it's the Catholic viewpoint, we've been specific in who thinks this, and we've stated why it could be seen as a strong argument. Now that is a lovely paragraph, but it is only going to get us 3 out of 15 because the question asks for more than one point of view. So let's do that now. Let's move ourselves up and put a second viewpoint in. I'm going to leave a line to show that this is coming into my second viewpoint. And my second paragraph is starting with the word however, to show that I'm considering something different. However, some Christians, and I know that's very woolly at the minute saying some Christians, but I'm going to be more specific in a second, would agree or would partially, I'm going to add the word partially, I've put that in the wrong place, would partially agree with the statement that there is no point in praying for the dead. Seems a very controversial thing to say. However, many Protestant Christians, so Church of England, Henry VIII, many Protestant Christians believe that when a person dies, their soul immediately goes to heaven or hell. Meaning prayer cannot change the destination. Where does this idea come from? Well, this view is supported by the Bible. When Jesus says to the criminal on the cross, today you will be with me in paradise. Now, it's actually from Luke's Gospel, but we can just say it's in the Bible when Jesus says to the criminal on the cross, today you will be with me in paradise. I've put it in quote marks. It is a direct quote. Why is that important? I'm not just throwing a quote in and then leaving it. I need to explain what that means. This suggests judgment happens straight away. It's one of your key terms. This suggests judgment happens straight away. Leaving no opportunity for prayer to make a difference. To the next page. No opportunity for prayer to make a difference. Now, is this a strong argument? Is this a weak argument? Well, I would suggest this is also a strong argument. It shows you're evaluating different viewpoints, adding this on the end of every paragraph. This is a strong argument because it's based directly on Jesus' words. Which many Christians believe is the ultimate source of authority. Now, we are 2 different viewpoints in, so if you were tight for time right now, you could definitely go straight through to your conclusion. I just want to throw another Catholic point in, more of a teaching point than anything right now. And I am going to start my 3rd paragraph with the language, on the other hand. The first one was Catholics would, then we had however. Now we are going for on the other hand. And in this one, I'm actually going back to a Catholic viewpoint because I've got more to say. Catholics would respond. I'm not repeating anything. Repeating anything is wasting time. Catholics would respond by referring to their belief in purgatory. We've mentioned purgatory briefly before, but let's use it now. Catholics believe we need to be purified to enter heaven. And based on this, prayers from the living can cleanse souls. And we're just going to add here the whole of the funeral mass is a prayer to thank God and also pray for those who have died, or the person who has died to assist them on their journey to heaven. Now, finally, in order to get into those big marks, we do need a conclusion. I personally find it easier to give a conclusion that might not always be my own personal viewpoint, but one that I can write most about. Now, in this instance, my conclusion is going to be, in conclusion, whilst all views are strong, I believe the strongest to be the Catholic position. Now, I've kept some points back here that I haven't used yet. This is because Catholic beliefs about the communion of saints show Christians are connected in life and death. And prayer extends that connection and communication. Prayer brings comfort to the living and reflects Jesus' teaching to love others. Then just finish on the words of the question. Therefore, praying for the dead still has purpose and value. Tough question, but there are ways to get those marks. So just to recap quickly, first up, the Catholic point. If we go back over, Catholics would disagree with the statement because Catholics believe praying for the dead is an act of love, respect and support. We've talked about offering masses for the dead, the prayer of the faithful, All Souls Day. We pray for those who have died but might still be in purgatory. We use prayers such as the eternal rest, and it's a strong argument, but because it shows prayer has a spiritual purpose. Then, an alternative view, as the question asks us to give. Some Christians would partially agree with the statement, starting with the word however, that there is no point in praying for the dead. Many Protestant Christians believe that when a person dies, their soul immediately goes to heaven or hell, meaning prayer cannot change the destination. This is supported by the Bible when Jesus says to the criminal on the cross, "Today you will be with me in paradise." Again, this is also a strong argument because it's based directly on Jesus' words. Then we've gone with a quick flashback to Catholicism with a little bit more of a belief in purgatory, so explain that we need to be purified and prayers are a way to cleanse the souls and assist us on our journey to heaven. In order to hit the big marks, we need to add a conclusion explaining that whilst all views are strong, the strongest is, and then pick your strongest one. In this instance, I've gone with the Catholic position because I've got more to say. I can talk about the communion of saints shows that we're connected in life and death, and prayer extends that connection, bringing comfort to the living and reflecting Jesus' teaching to support and love others. Hopefully that's been helpful to you. If it has, check out some of the other videos from these exam techniques. and good luck with your exams.